Hey there, Aurelia here from withhisgifts.com. Welcome and thank you so much for stopping by. Before we get started with today's project, I want to just say that I am back with Stampin' Up. I took a break for a little under a year, but I'm back now. And for those of you who want to know why I took a break, I share that in a blog post on my website at withhisgifts.com. So if you're interested in knowing the reasons why I took a break, go check that blog post out. Otherwise, I have a new video tutorial for you today, and we are going to create this absolutely gorgeous card. So let's go ahead and get started. The stamp set that I'm using today is the Tea Together stamp set. I will also be using the Flourish Thinlits dies, as well as the scalloped 1 1/8 inch punch. I will be using a couple of celebration items. First, the coordinating framelits. So the Tea Time framelits is a level 2 celebration item that you can earn for free with a qualifying order. And the second celebration item is the Country Floral, which is a level 1 celebration item. The ink colors we're using today are the Petal Pink, the Pool Party. We'll also be using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad. We will also be using some of the blends. I have here the Pool Party combo, the Petal Pink combo, and the Soft Seafoam combo. For our paper, I have a piece of the Sahara Sand that is cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. A piece of the Petal Pink that is cut at 5 1/4 by 4 inches. A piece of the Whisper White Thick cut at 5 by 3 1/4 inches. Then a piece from the Subtles DSP, and that is cut at 4 by 1 3/4 inches. Then I have some scrap pieces here, Whisper White Regular and Whisper White Thick, that we'll be using. Some of the other things that we're going to use are the multi-purpose glue, the snail adhesive, some regular Scotch tape, glue dots, Stampin' dimensionals, my paper piercing tool, snips, and bone holder. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our stamping, and I am going to grab the scrap pieces of Whisper White and Whisper White Thick. I'm also going to grab my piercing mat. I don't really need my piercing mat because I am stamping with the red rubber stamps. However, I will be coloring with my alcohol markers, and I do want to protect my lovely faux wood table cover here, which is actually paper, so we will be protecting that today. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Whisper White regular paper, and I will be stamping the lovely little teapot here, right here, and I will be, there she is, stamping it in the Pool Party. Okay, so let's open that up. And let's go ahead and ink up my stamp. And I know that when you're coloring with your blends, it is recommended that you use the Memento ink pad, but I don't want the harsh line, so I'm using the Pool Party because that's how I roll. Okay, there she is. I'm going to go ahead and stamp before I start coloring. So I'm done with that. The next things that I am going to stamp, this flower here and this flower here. We need a couple of those, 4 of those, and those are right here, ready to go. Those I'm stamping onto the thick. And why I'm stamping this on the thick, because it's also recommended that you color with your alcohol markers on the thick. I just liked how the ink flowed on here better, and how it absorbed onto here better. It just gave me a better result for my teapot, and that's why I chose that paper. So moving on to the flowers. We're gonna use the petal pink. So let's go ahead and pop that open, just like that. Oops, open, I said open, Aurelie. Okay, so there's that, and we will stamp a couple of these. Just like that. And again, I'm using the pink because I don't want the harsh line around my flowers. We want 4 of these. Okay, just like that. And then for our final stamp, we're gonna use the Love is a Warm Cup of Tea sentiment from our stamp set, and we will be using the Memento ink pad onto the thick Whisper White for that stamp. Okay, so let's, the sentiment is gonna get punched out with the scallop punch, so making sure that I leave enough room around it like that. You know, that kind of blurred a little bit, so let's try that one more time. There, that's better. It didn't push as hard. So we're all done with our stamping. The next thing we are going to do is to color. Well, actually, let's go ahead and punch that out and get that out the way super quick. So I have my little scallop punch. I'm gonna line that up. There, like that. And because I am forgetful and I will forget, first let me cut this away so it's not distracting me when I'm coloring that. But anyways, so I do not forget, I'm gonna grab my little piercing tool, and then I'm gonna punch a teeny tiny little punch in each scallop. And I'm gonna go all the way around my scallop. Don't know if you can see that, but just like that, all the way around, and I'll meet you back here. And there she is. We will go ahead and set her aside. We will need her later, and we are going to get started with coloring. I absolutely love coloring with my blends. I'm gonna grab my Pool Party combo, set the others aside, and what I'm gonna do is just lay a layer of color with Pool Party Light, and I'm just gonna completely cover my flower pot. No rhyme or reason to it. Just try to stay in the lines. If you don't, that's good too. It is handmade, and that's the beauty of it, right? It's not perfect. So let's go ahead, like I said, and let's give this one good layer of color in the light Pool Party. And there she is. One layer of the Pool Party alcohol marker Stampin' Blend. And now I'm going to grab my dark. And I don't think I mentioned that I used the brush tip for that. I'm using the brush tip as well here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place a thin line of the dark right on or as close to the edge of my little teapot, just like that. Okay, next I'm going to go with my light, and I am just going to blend that harsh line out. So the line right here, we're blending it. Okay, so I am just barely touching it with my brush tip and kind of blending it out so it's not so harsh. That's the first step. Then I'm going to go and grab it and pull it towards the middle. And we won't get all the way to the middle, but in that direction, like so. Okay? And that's going to give it some dimension, like that. All right? We're going to go ahead. I'm going to keep this uncovered because That's going to get annoying, having to keep going back and forth. Making sure that this is dark. I mean, the tops are different, but when you get to be my age, they look the same. So I'm making sure that I have the right color. So I'm doing the same thing on this side. I'm coming over to my edge. Oops, I went over, but that's okay. I am not gonna let that bother me in the slightest. Okay. My light. We're gonna go and just barely touch the line and blend out the harsh line so it's not a harsh line. Then we're gonna go ahead and pull it into the center like so. So there's that so far. All right, we are going to go with the dark. Make sure I have the dark. And there's some lines on the bottom on the rim here. I'm going to just go over those lines and then kind of blend them out. I mean, this is pretty much my technique. I am not a pro at this, but the blends do make it easy because they blend like butter. They really do, and it makes it easy. Very easy, trust me. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more because I want this to be more defined. And again, you play. Yes, I said play because it is fun, it is therapeutic, and I love to color with my blends. Did I say that already? Well, I do. Okay, so I just want a little more definition, and I'm going back in and I'm going to repeat the process that you just saw me do, so I won't make you endure it. I'll be back. Okay, so there you go. I like that. It's more defined around my edges. Now I am going to go and do my spout, and I'm just going to go around and lay a line of the dark around it. So like I said, this is my technique. It's not difficult. Lay the color with your first marker, blend it out with the second, and that's it. The results are gorgeous. Okay, isn't that beautiful so far? It's gorgeous. And it's the markers, it's not me. Okay, back to my dark. Now the scalloped top, we're gonna go ahead and put some of the dark around that, as well as the top right there. So like that. Let's blend that out. Okay, now for the handle, the dark, there are some lines on here already, and what I did was just follow that lead. Okay, and then I just placed a little bit of lines just to give it some definition, and then we blended that out. Okay, and there is our teapot all finished. We're gonna set that aside. Now the flowers, and the flowers are on the thick, and we are using the Petal Pink combo. And for this, I am starting with my dark, only because this is a smaller image, and I found that when I started with my light, this is a smaller image and a lighter color. It kind of muddled my lines, and I couldn't really see them anymore. So I figured I'm gonna go with my dark first, and I'm gonna define those lines so they stay put, and that's what I did. And what I did was on the top of each petal, not the outside ones, but the second layer of petals on the outside, I traced those lines to mimic a shadow that would be in between that petal and the petal beneath it. So that's what I did all the way around, and I'll show you here in a second. I'm not sure that you can see what I'm doing, but I am going to show you. Just like that. And then I'm going to keep that uncovered. I took my light, and I'm using the brush tips. And then I did what we did already, which was blend out the line. So I'm blending out the darker line and then laying the color onto my petal. That's what I'm doing. Then I will go back and actually pull that darker color out a little bit. I just want to make sure that I can still see my flower. Now I'm going back and I'm just pulling out that line, just like that. It's really subtle, but it's really beautiful. Again, I am not a professional. But I do play one of my videos. I'm sorry, that was tacky. All right, anyways, let's go. Dark. I'm laying the lines down, just like I did before. Okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and speed through this or jump to the end because you already saw me do it. Okay, there's the second one. Now for the smaller ones, I used the fine tip just because they're smaller, and that's what I used the fine tip for the leaves. I lied. I still used the brush tip. And again, starting with my dark, what I did here was from the center, I created a little shadow coming from there onto the petal, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and do that to all of them. Okay? And then my lighter, I'm going to blend that line out and cover the petal. Okay, there's that. We are done with the petal pink. We're going to go ahead and grab the soft Seafoam. And this is where I used the fine tip. And I just went and colored right onto that line that is already there. Now what I would have done had I had Stampin' blends, or not Stampin' blends, I do have Stampin' blends, hello. If I would have had just the Stampin' Right markers, which I don't, I kind of gave those to the boys, not gave them intentionally. I let them use them, and after they used them, I didn't want them back. But I probably would have, anyways, long story, but I would have probably colored the lines on, okay, see, I talk, and I messed up that leaf. Okay, anyways, let's stop right here. If I would have had the Stampin' Right markers, I would have used them on my stamp and colored the leaves with this color, with the soft Seafoam, and my flower with the petal pink. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. But I don't, so I stamped them, okay? And I probably could have used the ink pad too, but I didn't. Anyways, I messed up. I started with the light when I should have started with my dark. I was wondering why I didn't see that line very well, but there we go. Mystery solved. Okay. Woo. There we go. So we're just going to ignore that leaf right there. Right, there's more leaves already. Okay, so I have the soft Seafoam in the light that I'm coloring with, just in case you were wondering, because you're probably dizzy right now. But anyways, I started with my dark. The vein of the leaf that's down the center, I colored that with my dark, and now I am coloring and blending that line out with the light. There we go. There we go. All right, so I think this is all done, and this is all done, and we are ready for the big shot. And I'm going to grab this embossing folder, and I'm going to grab the piece of the Whisper White Thick, because we're going to put that in the embossing folder, okay? And then we're going to get our sandwich set up. I'm going to have my magnetic platform here. I'm going to put down my first plate. Then I am going to get this here, and this here. And then with my dies, I have my lovely little teapot that's going to go right there. Okay. We'll line that up before we cut. Then this one here frames the larger flower. Okay. And this one here frames the smaller flower. Alright. I have some washi tape over by my Big Shot that I'm going to use to make sure that these stay put, so don't panic if it's moving around like that. I will fix that, trust me. Now I also told you that we were going to use the Flourish Thinlits dies. I'm going to cut this little lovely leaf cluster out in the thick Whisper White. So the other scrap piece of paper that I had, right here. And I am going to need 2 of these. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 of these. I'm going to cut all the flowers out, the teapot, and I am going to emboss this paper with this absolutely gorgeous embossing folder. And that's all going to happen over at my Big Shot. Okay, and then I will be right back with everything and we will be ready to go. I'm back. All my pieces are cut and we are ready to rock and roll. Remember this little piece here? We're going to get that right there so we don't forget it. And then I'm going to grab the rest of my paper and I think we're going to build us a card, man. So let's go ahead and start with the card base. That is the Sahara Sand. Let's go ahead and fold that up. Okay. Like so. We're going to take the Petal Pink and my snail adhesive. I'm going to put that on the front of my card. We want to try to get it straight because on camera you are not looking straight down. So this is always a challenge. Okay, I'm going to move it closer to me just so that it's straight. Okay, but you get the gist of it, right? You're going to line that up like that and you're going to lay it down. Okay, and then this lovely piece here, do you see all the detail on that? That embossing folder is a must-have. So if you haven't earned it already, you need to. I'm going to use glue only because there's so much stuff going on there, dimension, little rivets and stuff. I want to make sure that this stays put, so I'm using my liquid adhesive around my edges. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to put a little bit in the center as well, just to make sure that my card stays put, because you know I worked hard on it and I don't want it to come apart, right? Okay, and I'm going to grab me a piece of paper towel to help with getting this on here. Now I'm looking to see, I want it up. We're going to center this on the top, so layer número 2. Okay. Yep, I'm on frame, in frame, not on. Okay, and I'm using my paper towel to kind of, sometimes we have ink and stuff on our fingers and don't even realize it, and this is a gorgeous piece of white cardstock and we don't want to ruin it with any ink, so I grabbed a paper towel just to make sure. I'm going to open that up and then I'm going to do the same thing just to make sure that that layer is adhering nice and good. And I even pinch my sides like this, or edges. Okay, that's good. And we're going to do the same thing with this. We're just going to put that down the center, and again we're going to use glue because we want it to stay put. And then we will be ready, the canvas will be ready for our lovely little pieces that are sitting there waiting. Just to make sure that it's not going to move, and then you can proceed to the next step. Alright, and the next step is to assemble our gorgeous card, or the front of our card. Okay, and for that I'm going to get glue dots, And we're gonna get our lovely little teapot and flip that over. And we're gonna get some glue dots. Not glue dots, dimensionals. These are dimensionals. I'm gonna grab me some of my mini dimensionals. These little tiny little dimensionals get into places that the larger ones don't. I mean, at least without performing surgery on them. Okay, so we want some on there. We want some on the handle. Okay, now before I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna remove the backing, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because this is a lot of dimensionals and I don't wanna have to bore you, but I'll be back. Okay, so I took the backing off of that and then I realized that I made a oopsie, so I lifted up, carefully lifted up the corners of, so the top left and the bottom right corners, because we have to tuck these in to that corner. We just do, because that's what I did. So I am clipping these 2 leaves, okay? So what we're left with is this, okay? You can actually even cut away that. So this is what you're left with. We're gonna do the same thing to the other one. So now let's fix my mistake real quick. So this is gonna tuck in behind here, like so, okay? Just like that. So let me do that. There's already some wet glue back there. Now doing this, keep in mind that it's gonna extend past your card base. So you may have to, if you're going to mail it, move to just a slightly larger envelope. Okay? Oh, let me do this. I don't want... Okay. So there, crisis averted. Just like that. Oh, see? Like that. And I'm going to flip this over and do the same on this side. Oops. Did it go back? Okay. Just like that. There's a little piece in there still. Okay. So we are just tucking it in so it can peek off the side, just like that. Hey, that worked out. I'm glad that I did not destroy my card, because being this far into the video and having to start over would have sucked. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so now what we are going to do is place our lovely little teapot right onto the center, like so. Just like that. All right, and then we're gonna take 2 of the smaller ones and we're gonna work on these corners. I'm gonna take a glue dot and I am going to, so I there's 2 leaves on here. I have one facing, the 2 leaves facing this way, and then the 2 leaves facing that way. I'm gonna pick up the one on my left. I'm gonna put a little glue dot on it, like so, and then I am going to put those 2 together, like so, okay? Then we will put some glue dots on the back of both of those. Come on. The little cardboard ring that's supposed to be in there came off, so it's hard to push things down on that. Okay, so now I'm going to come down into my corner like so with my things. Okay, and I'm going to take one of the bigger ones, and I want some dimensionals for that. Okay, and then dimensionals, okay, because this is going to lay over on top of my pot, or yeah, it's a teapot, I'm right. Okay, so you don't want your dimensional on that part, you want it on the bottom here, a couple of them. You do want these leaves that we cut away. You are going to take a glue dot Okay, like so. And you are going to put those together like so. And then you're going to take another glue dot, put those right in the front of both of them. And then what we're going to do is tuck those away behind there. So that's what you should have. That's what that looks like. So let's go ahead and peel away the backing from our dimensionals. Okay, just like that. And let's put it down. Just like that. Isn't that beautiful? Now let's work on the other side. We're going to flip this over because it's easier for me to do that. We're going to do the same exact thing with these two flowers that we did. Place those into my corner. Now this one here, we're going to, it's going to tuck behind our teapot. So we're not going to put it on dimensionals. We're going to use glue dots. We're going to use like 3 of them just to make sure that it's going to stay put. Okay, like so. And then we're going to put that just like this right there. Now the final 2 little leaves right here, we're going to put them together with a glue dot. And we're going to tuck this behind our little teapot there. So we might have to lift it up if we got a thingy there. Okay, so there is that. So we're almost there. This is the home stretch, guys. Got my dimensionals, just 1 dimensional on our little scalloped sentiment. Okay, and then there you have it. Super duper easy, kind of quick, but absolutely super duper elegant. For a list of the supplies that I used today, follow the link to the corresponding blog spot in the description below, and then head on over to my online store and place your order today so you can make these gorgeous cards at home. And remember that 2 of the items that I used today are celebration items that you can earn for free with a qualifying purchase. Celebration runs through the end of the month, so you want to be sure to jump on that, because once it's gone, it's gone. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video tutorial, please leave me a comment down below. Like this video, and don't forget, until next time, thank you and have a great day.